Hello everybody and welcome back to the MattVidPro AI YouTube channel. I know it's been pretty hectic in the AI world lately with all of this OpenAI drama. I've already done 2 videos on it, so if you're looking for that, that's already posted on the channel. Today I want to kind of get back to basics and talk about some recent AI advancements that have caught my eye lately. So let's start out with Anthropic's Claude 2.1, which is one-upping OpenAI's GPT 4.5, shockingly enough. I think that my favorite thing to talk about on the channel is indeed large language models. I mean, to be honest, the reason that I got into AI was large language models in the first place. I started messing around with GPT-2 all the way back in the day, and then when GPT-3 was announced, I was just totally blown away. And now we're looking at competitors like Claude 2.1 that are actually one-upping OpenAI. Introducing Claude 2.1 from Anthropic. Our latest model, Claude 2.1, is now available over in their API and is also powering their Claude.ai chat experience. This is their ChatGPT competitor. Claude 2.1 delivers advancements in key capabilities for enterprises, including an industry-leading 200K token context window. So, to put the 200K context window in context for you guys, the free version of ChatGPT currently still has a 4K context window. That's about 3,500 words or so. When GPT-4 originally released, it was an 8K context window, around 7,500 words. Then the original Claude 2 released with an 100K context window. That's around 75,000 words. I think you see where I'm going with this. And of course, just a few weeks ago, OpenAI released GPT-4 Turbo, which has an 128K context window, or around 100,000 words. But Claude 2.1 comes in swinging to one-up OpenAI with a 200K context window, or 150,000 words! That is twice their previous context window and a good amount more than the just-released GPT-4 Turbo. Anthropic is also claiming here that they have a significant reduction in the rates of model hallucination. Basically, this just means the model is less likely to spout pure BS, and Claude 2 had very reasonable amounts of hallucination, I would say. It was somewhere in between GPT 3.5 and GPT 4. They've also added system prompts, which is really nice to see, and their new beta feature, tool use, which I assume is going to be some form of like plugins. They're also updating their pricing to improve cost efficiency for their customers across models. This all comes out when OpenAI is at a rough point. Our users can now upload technical documentation like entire code bases, very exciting, financial statements like S1s, or even long literary works like the Iliad or the Odyssey. By being able to talk to large bodies of content or data, Claude can summarize, perform Q&A, forecast trends, compare and contrast multiple documents, and much more. I agree, that open context window is a huge deal. Processing a 200K length message is a complex feat in an industry first, no doubts there. We're excited to get this powerful new capability to the hands of our users. Tasks that would typically take hours of human effort to complete might take Claude just a few minutes. We expect the latency to decrease substantially as technology progresses. I think they're warning us here that at that full 200K token limit, things might be a little bit slow. So for the hallucination, they're claiming a 2x decrease. That is very substantial. They tested this by curating a large set of complex factual questions that probe known weaknesses in current models. The model is significantly more likely to admit that it doesn't know something. I think everyone can agree here, you'd rather the model just tell you straight up it doesn't know something rather than make a guess. Meaningful improvements have also been made in comprehension and summarization, particularly in these long, complex documents that really demand higher degrees of accuracy, like legal documents, financial reports, and technical specs. Claude 2.1 demonstrated a 30% reduction in incorrect answers and a 3 to 4x lower rate of mistakenly concluding a document supports a particular claim. They're really, positioning Claude in this business real-world use case scenario. So tool use seems to be integrated inside of the API, essentially allows Claude to integrate with users' existing processes, products, and APIs. And of course, this is going to make Claude a lot more useful. The fact you can actually build it into things, making it useful for real-world cases. Claude can now orchestrate across developer-defined functions or APIs, search over web sources, retrieve information from private knowledge bases. Users can define a set of tools for Claude to use and specify a request. The model will then decide which tool is required to achieve the task and execute an action on their behalf. Here's some examples for that. Of course, we all know what system prompts are. Allows Claude to take on different personalities or roles, just like a higher level prompt for the AI. So you can access this new Claude 2.1 model for entirely free, but unfortunately, unless you have the Pro plan, you can't access the whole 200k token limit, and their Pro plan is $20 a month. I don't know about you guys, but $20 a month is a little steep for Claude Pro. I do have a solution for those of you who don't want to waste all of your money on a Claude Pro subscription. This website, which is nat.dev or Open Playground, will probably have this brand new Claude model inside of their website very soon. Of course, Claude 2.1 is available through their API, and on this website, all of the other Anthropic Claude models are also available using this API. So I'm sure it's going to be added very, very soon to nat.dev. And with this method, we can essentially pay as we go, where you just buy $5 in credits at a time and utilize that full 200k context window. In other massive news, Stability AI, the creators of the famous Stable Diffusion and Stable Diffusion XL, are releasing Stable Video Diffusion, their first foundation model for generative AI video based on the image model Stable Diffusion. As part of this research preview, the code, weights, and research paper are now available, fully open source, for anyone to do anything they want. Additionally, today you can sign up for our waitlist to access an upcoming web interface, including a text-to-video interface that probably competes with Runway, ML, and Pika. This literally just happened, so I'm going to go ahead and click the link to sign up for their waitlist. Let's go ahead and get a closer look at Stable Video Diffusion. So exciting. First foundation model for generative video. Oh, this is where it begins. Stable Diffusion, the original image model, marked a significant change in the way AI imaging worked. It has given us the structure for AI image generation that we see today. Open, you can generate on your own machine, plenty of websites that offer free ways to generate images. This is the beginning of something huge. It's not the first open source video model, but it is the best. So right now it's only in research preview, but of course it's going to be fully open at some point. It's a state-of-the-art generative AI video model, and as they say, and I agree, it represents a significant step in their journey toward creating models for everyone of every single type. With this research release, they have made the code for Stable Video Diffusion available on their GitHub repository. Of course, this is linked down in the description below. And of course, the weights required to run the model locally can be found on their Hugging Face page. Of course, also linked down below. Further details regarding the technical capabilities of the model can be found in their research paper. Also, really nice to see them release a nice full research paper to go along with this model. This is going to help developers really understand the limitations and capabilities that can be found with it, and really how everything is working under the hood. Here's our first glimpse at the model, and man, it is really freaking impressive. This is good stuff, dude. This is really good stuff. Comparative, yes, with the current day models. Nothing long form yet that we can see, but of course it's open source, so people are going to develop on top of it, try to make it do long form video, try to make it do better quality video. After all, that's what happened with Stable Diffusion and SDXL. I'm really quite impressed with this little example though. Looking at the example we can find in the top left hand corner, I believe that is a very specific car. Actually, that's an Aston Martin if I'm not wrong. Looks like the real deal. Cars have classically been very difficult for AIs to generate properly, and that's a pretty good car. Looks like we're getting some 720p video-ish resolution, which is very high. Right under the car, we have a man looking up in a very cinematic view. Looks like it could be from like a Wild West film or something like that. Looks really good. Very clear facial details, not a lot of hallucination going on, and nice background blur. Up in the top right, we've got a train pulling in. This looks really good as well. The background's super stable, along with all of the rest of the elements of the scene, and as the train moves, it doesn't really warp too much. And finally, we've got this little robot sleeping in a bed, and this one to me is the most impressive so far because it's just so stable. There's not a lot of hallucination, there's not a lot of warping going on. Like, look at how good the pillow looks. The pillow part is almost perfect, and the robot also is almost perfect as well, and you can see the reflections on the robot subtly change as the camera pans, just like you would expect in real life. It's really impressive stuff. Just my mind is absolutely blown right now. I can't believe this is going to be open source. This is huge. The news keeps getting better. The video model can easily be adapted to various downstream tasks, including multi-view synthesis from a single image with fine-tuning on multi-view datasets. They are planning a variety of models that can build on and extend this base, similar to the ecosystem that is built around Stable Diffusion. So as you can see, all of these were generated just from a single image, where it tries to predict what the back of the model is going to look like and the sides and everything like that. This is very important for creating consistent characters over time. I'm really interested to see what their text-to-video interface tool is going to look like. They say it showcases the practical applications of Stable Video Diffusion in numerous sectors, including advertising, education, entertainment, and beyond. They even have a little teaser video for us to look at. Alright, Stable Video Diffusion. You can do text or image inputs, generate a nice dragon in the mountains. He's kind of slowly moving. Astronaut walking on the moon. 2 blue jays on top of a building. That looks pretty good. It's like an anime style. Yeah, this is shaping up to be exciting. This is like a small little demo they're providing us, but it seems like they've absolutely put in the work. So this comes in the form of 2 image-to-video models. One can do up to 14 frames right now, and the other 25. Frame rates are between 3 and 30 FPS. So this is at the time of release in their foundational form. Of course, they're going to be built on top of because they are open source. They have found that these models right now at least surpass the leading closed models in user preference studies. This is a pretty rare thing to see, but this open source model is better than both Pika Labs and Runway in their estimation. Really, really exciting. We emphasize that this model is not intended for real-world or commercial applications at this stage, meaning in the future it will be. So yeah, guys, I think the implications of this are going to be absolutely huge. This is probably going to make AI video actually viable. Like, it's going to be pretty mainstream like AI image generation is, and you'll see it integrated everywhere, because that's what open source does. That's just the power of open source. You'll see little specific models for, a claymation style maybe, or, a cinematic style. People will get this thing to generate more and more frames up until hopefully the minutes section for clips increase the fidelity and FPS and all of that. That's what happened with Stable Diffusion. It's just the power of open source development. One thing I'd be really interested to see is, what kind of GPU does it take to run this thing? Can it run on a consumer-grade graphics card, my own computer? I did go ahead and upload the research paper to Claude 2.1, but put simply, they just don't tell us what kind of hardware is required to run this thing. So I expect it's not consumer-grade graphics cards just yet. Alright, now I've got 2 smaller little cool pieces to show you before we wrap this up. Nathan Shipley here on Twitter is showing us AI VFX in painting on moving videos. As Nathan points out, this feels like the start of an entirely new paradigm in VFX. This is like moving video in painting using Stable Diffusion. We can see here in the example, it's really, really cool. They've got a matte here. Obviously, this is the part you essentially erase for the in-painting, and then this is what it generates. Very realistic looking VFX video. This guy's hand turns into fire, makes it look like he's got fire superpowers or something, but the smoke and the flames are so realistic and consistent. It's really impressive stuff. But yeah, this is the future of VFX that pretty much anyone is going to be able to do at home. This one here, they've got a mime, but this time, they They add some water effects that are going on just to show you how well it's able to blend into its surroundings. And it kind of creates this interesting waterfall effect. This time they do another one with this guy that seems to be working out really well, and they turn his hand into an octopus's hand. Just really cool stuff. This one's a little bit less consistent than the fire, but still really, really interesting to look at. Same mime one, but this time they do an ice sculpture. Again, there's a lot of morphing going on with this, so it'll take some work to make it actually viable for real VFX, but so far so good. Now they also have this guy's face and tried to make it look like some sort of crystallized structure is growing on it. This one's really interesting. They take this woman and make it look like she's made of bark and there's like a tree creature growing or something weird like that. But just shows you the power of AI video effects and is something that's absolutely getting better and slowly coming into our future. Alright, finally, this one might actually deserve a full video of its own, but this is voice to music. This was launched yesterday, and this is a feature that essentially uses AI to allow you to just sing into your microphone and it turns your voice into the notes of any instrument you want. So this is like voice to music using AI. You can try this thing out on Musicify. I really want to test this one out. I think it'll be a full video, so let me know if you're interested in seeing a little bit more of this, but for now I'll just show you the little demo video that they produced. I just want to pause this really quick. You can see how I want to do a full video on this. It's so darn cool. I hope it works like almost in real time. I don't know. I haven't really explored it yet. I just kind of saw it across my feed, but oh, I'm excited. This is turn anything into instrument, essentially. That is amazing. Definitely deserves a full video, but let me know if you want to see it down in the comments below. Some really exciting things, obviously, going on in the AI space. I've got even more to talk about later this week as well, so get subscribed if you aren't already. Also, if you want to stay up to date with the latest and greatest in AI, definitely follow me on Twitter and or join my Discord server. We have a great community there. I don't know, some crazy stuff going on. I'm not done talking about amazing advancements that you haven't seen yet, so the AI world is absolutely pumping, whether OpenAI is with us or not. See you guys in the next one, and goodbye.